We got Grace, Molly, and Sue with a patriotic tribute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag stands for the ideals of our forefathers, the men who fought and died in the building of this great nation. The pledge stands for our fulfillment of the duties and obligations as our citizens of the United States and to uphold the principles of our Constitution. And last but not least, the pledge stands for the 4 great freedoms that we need to maintain for all citizens: the freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom from want, and freedom from fear.
407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation, so conceived and so dedicated, cannot endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper we should do this, but in a larger sense we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, and we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men living and dead who have struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor powers to utter detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us the living rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these on our dead we take increased devotion of that cause for which they gave us the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, and that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
If tomorrow all the things were gone that I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with my children and my wife, I'd thank my lucky stars to be living here today, because the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died for me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, because there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true for the red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or brag. And shall all acquaintance be forgot, keep your eyes on the grand old flag.
Hotspot brewing in a foreign land, counting on you being there. 24 hours around the clock, we're taking this everywhere. And the more I get around this world, the more I realize the strongest force anywhere is right before my eyes. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Ooh, you're the greatest show of strength we've ever seen. Coast Guard, National Guard, along with our reserves. We salute our nation's best, standing ready, proud to serve. You're the great defenders of the USA. You're the great defenders, working while we play. Champions of freedom, this song goes out to you. You're the great defenders of the red, white, and blue. There's pride when you display our colors, keep your promise true. If someone messes with Old Glory, they have to answer to you. And the more I get around this world, the more I realize the greatest force found anywhere is right before my eyes. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Ooh, you're the greatest show of strength this world has ever seen. Coast Guard, National Guard, along with our reserves. We salute our nation's best, standing ready, proud to serve. You're the great defenders of the USA. You're the great defenders, working while we play. Champions of freedom, this song goes out to you. You're the great defenders of the red, white, and blue. Army, Navy, Air Force, ooh! Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesty above thy fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.